Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel. We are back with London Detective Mysteria, Holmes' route. Let's go. The door slowly opened. Elissa was on the other side.
Good afternoon. I have something I'd like to borrow. May I step inside?
Certainly. Marple was not nearly as gentle in thought with Angie's roommate, having forced the girl aside quite intentionally as she returned. I was able to spot Angelica sleeping through the gap in the door. To my relief, she looked at peace. I entered. The first thing to grab my attention was a tiny, hard shell, barely noticeable, with it being the size of one's thumb on the ground, just before the shelf. I don't know what about it intrigued me so, but intrigued I was, and so I plucked and examined it closely. What was this? Why did it feel so out of place? Is it like the... Did it say chestnut, I think it said? I'm not sure. But it's a or was it... Yeah, it's some type of shell. Of like, I don't know if what they said was the type of poison that reacted. I don't remember. But I think that's what it was. It's been a while since I've started reading this story again because, oh my god, it's been hectic lately. Anyway. And why am I so bothered by it?
Emily, let's go.
Oh. Are you finished?
We can leave now.
Yes, I've enough of it for us to examine. Marple showed me a small bottle.
Come, I'm leaving.
Wait, Marple, and just where do you mean to examine it?
Isn't it obvious? We have need to a madman obsessed with data and a doctor in the making.
Holmes and Watson, then? Marple moved at an admirable speed for having such short legs. Geez, that's kind of hard to say, at an admirable. I don't know why. I was not tall myself, but it took considerable work on my end not to be left behind. We both stopped upon hearing a quarrel in the distance, however.
Okay. Don't lie to me, Rafus. You're horrible. How can you be seeing two girls in the club? There is a line, and you've crossed it. I tried to look the other way for a club mate, but I can't do that anymore.
A girl was shouting at the top of her lungs with fury from the courtyard. That sounds rather serious. We prickled our ears and listened.
Elissa and Angie, you see them both at the same time, and now Angie's ill. That's too much stress for the poor girl.
Hardly. The doctor is a quack. If she's gone to a real doctor, she wouldn't have... They were talking about Angie. I stepped forwards with a sudden vigor to hear more. Marple? She had seized me by the arm before I could get far.
Don't, Emily.
What? Why? Her stare was so piercing that I couldn't move even if I wanted. She's not even looking at us, though. Realizing she must have something in mind, I acquiesced without protest. Yet, it wasn't long before we were noticed. I haven't done anything wrong. I've been faithful. Huh? He looked directly at me. You're... Oh, I recognize you. Sorry. It was the same boy who fled from the girls' dormitory just yesterday, and he made to flee the scene once more. Wait, did you come here from the... Hold on a minute. He hastily cut me off.
You two know one another? Or is it that you're seeing 3 women?
No, please, listen. It's a misunderstanding.
Curious as I am by this affair, would either of you mind terribly if we asked about something else? We're in the midst of an investigation. If we can find the right answers, we might be able to save a friend of ours. Of course not. You're Sarah Marple and Emily Whiteley from the detectives course, I think. What would you like to know? What can you tell me about Angelica Maiani? About Angie? I feel like I'm not the right person to ask. He is the...
If I may speak... I'm not seeing anyone else. The other student, wholly the skeptic, watched him with a fuming scrutiny that hoped to counter any word that stood out to her as fiction. He continued with caution. I have a serious relationship with Angie. I've been visiting her in her room because I've been worried about her.
So you really are the one who visited Angie right before we arrived? But boys aren't allowed in the girls' dorm. If someone were to find out, you would be expelled without delay. So that lie from Angie about having no visitors was meant to protect you now, was it?
Did Elissa know that you were visiting Angie? She did. She caught me once when I was there. I'd asked her to keep it a secret, and she promised she wouldn't tell anyone.
So that's how it is.
I'm not seeing both of them. I swear it on my life. Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard it, but it sounded like one of my neighbors was yelling. Anyway, he couldn't have been making a stronger effort to plead his innocence. I admit that I was seeing Elissa before, but we aren't together now. In fact, she's been very supportive of me and Angie. There are days when she brings homemade scones and jam to everyone in the club. I don't have a poor word to spare for her, really. I can tell that both Angelica and Elissa are precious to him. If you have a way of helping Angelica, then please, do what you can.
Of course.
Thank you. Rufus left the courtyard.
I understand that he cares for both of them, but being equally kind isn't kindness in and of itself. Would you be willing to share anything more about Angie and Elissa? What else? Well, they've been close friends for as long as I can recall. It never crossed my mind that they would both fall in love with Rufus. Angie is the head of the choir and is most strict with practice. But she always lights up like a child the moment Elissa comes in with all her baked goods. Rufus mentioned the baked goods as well. Scones and jam, was it? What kind of scones does she make? She's baked quite a spread in the past, but the most common are either plain or with raisins. Her jam is strawberry or marmalade, both oh so heavenly too. If I do say so myself, derp, whatever. I see. Has she ever once made something other than scones and jam for the choir? No, just those. We love tea breaks, so food is often a topic of conversation. Elissa's scones have never failed to please. Thank you. You were a great help.
We said our farewells to her before leaving. What is it, Marple? Are you concerned about her scones?
Yes, a little. Angie brought them up rather frequently.
She told me about them as well, saying Elissa's clotted cream perfectly complemented them.
That's correct.
How do you feel about Rufus?
I don't believe he's lying. His gaze was true. There was no uncharacteristic sweating. He had a clear and concise response. Above all else, he fully admitted to visiting Angie's room. A part of me does feel uneasy with Angie lying to me to protect him. He did sneak into the girls' dormitory, after all.
I suppose it's romantic. He's gone out of his way to see her, even breaking the rules for her. And when she's ill, she must feel happy to have someone like him.
I wish I could understand. I can only think of the risk that comes when breaking the rules.
That's one way to see things. Marple must not have any interest in love. With nothing more to debate on the issue, we returned to the Baker Street office. More ... May I ask who's there? It was the second time we had visited in a day, and what a busy day it had been. Good afternoon again. Is it all right if we could come in and talk for a bit? What's this? Back so soon, Miss Whiteley?
Was she here earlier? You never told me, Holmes.
And the point of that would be... Forget it. What do you need this time?
Well, make yourselves comfortable.
Watson sported a welcoming grin as he opened the door for us. I derped. More derping today. I'm not some jack of all trades. This won't be easy as you...
Leave it to me, then. It's hardly difficult to examine medicine.
Watson abruptly cut Holmes off, earning a nasty glare in turn. And what reason do you have to do this? No questions asked. You may have nothing to do, but I have been inundated with...
That's why I said to leave it to me. Now, with that sorted out, have a seat and I shall dive into research.
Thank you. Permit me to accompany you.
Marple followed after Watson. I'm sorry to barge in twice in one day. There's nothing to be done now that you're here. From then on, Holmes and I shared silence. Oh, come to think of it. There was more for us to do than wait, I thought. I reached into my pocket for the shell that I'd found in Angelica's room. I'd placed it there in a rush, since Marple wanted to leave. Holmes was quick to become curious. Miss Whiteley, what is that? This? I'm wondering that myself. I fear I don't know what it is. May I? I wish to take a closer look. Please do. Here. I gave the shell to Holmes. It was such a tiny thing, but he still inspected it from every possible angle he could, flipping it around, feeling the texture of its surface, and tapping it. It's a shell of an apricot. That's what it is, apricot. I was like, what was it that that it's supposed to be? Anyway, it's the shell of an apricot seed. That's all? When you break its shell, you'll find an apricot kernel inside. An interesting fact, a decomposed, unripe kernel can lead to prussic acid poisoning when mixed with gastric fluid. It's frightening to think of such a little thing as poisonous. I concur, but it is possible to remove the poison. There's even medicine in the East that makes use of the kernel. It all depends on how it's prepared. Anything can become a weapon, if that's how you intend to use it. So a shell to an apricot seed is it?
Success!
Oh, that sounded so weird, but oh well.
The test is complete. We can now safely conclude there isn't a drop of poison to be found in this medicine.
Watson appeared from the back room, cheerfully shaking the small bottle, with Marple not far behind.
I could find no error in his examination. He is well on his way to becoming a first-rate doctor.
I am not. On my way to becoming a first-rate detective, more like it.
Thank you, Watson. Marple, Holmes informed me that this is the shell of an apricot seed.
Where did you find this, Emily?
In Angelica's room when we went to retrieve her medicine. I thought to take it with me since something about it struck me.
Its seed contains something that's rather poisonous, doesn't it?
Could she have broken the shell and mixed the kernel in with the jam?
But no one mentioned apricot jam, and it's not possible to extract poison from a ripe apricot.
It's been some time since the kernel was taken from the shell. The scent is long gone. But a fresh one smells quite good, similar to an almond, which I'm allergic to. Of course, an almond! Marple and I were of one mind. Her face tensed.
If it's what we're thinking, then we must return immediately, Emily.
More dots.
Are there still any scones left, Elissa?
I've got strawberry jam and clotted cream. How do they sound? Elissa's hand, quivering, sliced a scone in half.
That sounds delightful. Thank you. I'm feeling a bit better, so I think I can eat some.
While scooping the clotted cream with a spoon, several knocks were heard from the door. Ah, I'll get it. Before Elissa could even turn the knob, the door had swung open on its own.
Hello again, Angie, Elissa. The air smells delicious.
Miss Marple. I don't know why I made her voice sound really weird, but oh well. I accompanied her as she barged in.
Oh, whatever is the matter?
We're sorry to come in like this, but we have good reason. The scent of warm tea, scones, jam, and clotted cream permeated the room. Are you having a cup of tea? Oh, and that cream smells just divine. May I have some? Pardon? But this is for Angie.
Let her have some, Elissa. I don't think I can finish it all, so I insist.
A darkness manifested over Elissa. This darkness, this anxiety grew by rapid leagues. in the seconds between Angelica's consent and Marple's reaching out. Don't! She let out a shriek as she went to seize the cream from Marple's hand. It dropped with a clack on the floor.
Why are you so opposed to her eating this?
Because... She could not answer. Her eyes flickered to where she could not keep focus on any one of us present. Angelica remained perplexed, as much as she was concerned, seemingly aware that she was the only girl with no understanding of what just transpired. Jeez.
Sarah, what is it? Your face is like stone. And Elissa, you look terrible.
I'm sorry. I put... Marple was the one to stop her.
I'd prefer if you didn't say. I don't want to hurt Angie.
Poor Marple. Marple leant close and whispered a chilling calm to her voice into Elissa's ear.
How clumsy of me. It seemed I've dropped your homemade clotted cream.
I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one.